I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, the biggest football channel in all of the YouTubes, where we used to do sports analytics and reviews and teaching people to be better coaches, but now, apparently, we just review VAR decisions that are terribly wrong in the Premier League. And yeah, it's getting worse. This is only week 3. It's just going to get worse and worse in the Premier League. Now, I'm going to break down this Mason Mount thing here, because he's lost the ball on the bounce. He's gone on the wrong side of the defender, and the defender's got back in on him. And I'm going to show you what he's doing is that he's doing a professional foul to try to draw a penalty. That's what he's doing. Seen it, been there, done it, got the T-shirt. And the fact these refs don't know that straight away, I would have yellow carded him. I know what he's doing. When I show you, you'll see it. You'll go, ah, right. And if you've played enough football, or you like I have, or coached enough football like I have, you know, if you've been around how much football I've done all over the world, it's obvious of what's going on. Now, the train wreck of the club that is Manchester United as well, I'm going to break down a lot more on my live stream at 8 o'clock on Monday night. And I'm going to go over systems, a whole bunch of stuff. And what it really comes down to is when you hear people talking about formations and shapes and systems, most people don't know the difference. They don't even know there's a difference between a formation and a shape, let alone understanding roles and responsibilities inside of a shape, inside of a formation, inside of a system. And okay, one of the major things with football, I'm not going to go into most of it, but that's one of the major things wrong with football is people are talking about these things. That is not or will never be the reason that you are fundamentally bad throughout the season. It is players. Players win you games, players lose you games. And I'm going to show Man United why they lose games in this game, okay, in these little highlights. But let's get on to this professional foul here by Mason Mount. As you can see, the contact starting outside the box here. That's where it's all start going down. But now he realises he's losing the ball. Let me change the camera angle so I can show you exactly what I'm looking at. Okay, so here's where the foul starts, and it's Mason Mount is fouling, holding on and pulling onto the shirt. Now, he's not very quick, but he's quick enough to get almost into the inside, and he knows he can't get the ball back. Right? He knows he can't. So what he does is he wraps his arm around the defender's arm, and he pulls the defender down on top of him. I've had someone do this to me in a game. If you're around on my live streams, you'll know the story I'm talking about. I got a red carded for the other player pulling me down. Look, yeah, hilarious story, but quite funny. You can see, look, there you see. Can you see he's wrapped his arm around him now? He's got him locked. Okay, now you can see he looks like he's got possession of the ball because he's pulled himself around the defender. I think it might even be Carl Walker. He's awful at the footballs. But he's wrapped around him, and you can see he's got him. He's got him. Look, there you go. He's linked his arm. You can see he's completely linked his arm. Now he's throwing the defender on top of him. That's what he's doing. Throwing the defender on top of himself to get a penalty. Yellow card, mate. I know what you're doing. Sorry. Look, you can see him. He's throwing the defender on top of himself to get a penalty. Linked the arm, pulled him down. Yeah, not having it. I would have booked you for that. Clever, smart, but not smart enough, young kiddie. Booked. That's what I would have done. Let's move it on. Let's see if we can show some football ones this weekend. That would be nice. So Burnley are quite solid defensively, but not in the Premier League. Look, I want you to have a little look at how many Burnley players are inside the 6-yard box. Okay. And the reason why they concede this goal is because they basically collapse in on themselves. All they have to do is these two players here and these two players just take one step closer to the 6-yard box. They need to get to that 6-yard box, push those Man United players out. Watch these two Man United players here create the space. Watch this. Watch this. Do you see? As they drop this way, the Burnley players drop inwards there. That is enough separation. And remember, I can put a ball onto his head from there, and I'm sure he can too. So he knows exactly, look, you can see the little separation, the little space is building right there. Do you see it? Boom, boom, keeps going. And now look how far the Burnley players are back, away from these two United players that managed just to take a couple of steps back and sneak away. And these guys have taken another step back instead of a step forward and opened up that little pocket of space right there. Now, when the delivery comes in, boom, unmarked. Yeah, and it takes a ricochet, and it's all a bit of luck. The keeper almost saves it. But sometimes you need a little bit of luck when you're down the bottom of the league. And that's what United got just there. This is why Manchester United are where they're at. This is the reason. You've got an open goal. It's not even close. It's a massively open goal. You can take a touch and dribble the ball in the goal if you like. No one's near you. This is the reason why Manchester United are a bad football team right now. Not shapes, not systems, not formations, not the manager sitting there not watching penalties. All of that's comical. All of that's funny to talk about. But this is the reason. You've got an open goal. Tap it in. That's the reason. That's a goal. You haven't scored it. Should be 2-0. Your team should be 2-0, coasting, ready to go, put the game to bed, done and dusted. Instead, you're not. That gives Burnley all the encouragement they need to get back into the game. That break, all of that energy expended for absolutely nothing, and that is a regular occurrence. The chances that they do create, they're quality, easy ones to score like that, just no hope in finishing them. That's the problem. Quality of players. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of stop-start, because what I want to show you is that the pass goes out. Watch here. United defender spots it, tells him to go over and cover for it. He has no interest, so he goes to cover, but doesn't do the job properly. Meanwhile, you've got Burnley's striker just like having a walk through the middle here, doing whatever he wants. Watch. Arms up, telling someone to do something. Look, now he realises he's not going to go, so he starts to sprint out there to do a job. Okay, then do the job. You see your team's made a mistake. You're going to recover for it, so you recover for it. This is what I'm talking about. They do not have the quality players to be able to defend or attack or do anything of quality. He needs to get out there and stop this ball coming across. Watch his movement, though. He doesn't sprint towards the ball. All he does is jog out wide. Two players just jog past in a pocket of space. No one's bothered to mark him. So let me get this right. Two defenders did a little crisscross. One went to go towards the ball and gave up. The other one didn't bother to mark the striker. The striker walked past the second defender and no one bothered to pick him up. This is why United lose. Not because they might be playing 5-3-2-17 with a little, piece of ice cream and a flake on it. Nothing to do with that. Go and close the ball down. Basics. Refuses to. Decides to do nothing. Has a little bit of a jog. Look at how much space he's in. No one is paying attention. No one's even here trying to come across and take out the space or put in a challenge. Just let him have it. When the cross comes in, he's all alone for a simple tap in. Make it a little bit awkward because he's using the outside of his right foot instead of going with his left foot. But there we go. A goal's a goal. I'll take it. I'll be working on his technique because his selection there's a little bit wrong. But ultimately, United don't pressure the ball. Don't mark the simple runner that goes past two players. When he does, the other centre-back doesn't come over and deal with the situation. It's just too easy. And that isn't roles and responsibilities or systems or any of that. That's players refusing to go to the ball, players refusing to track runners. And if you're not doing that, you're in all sorts of trouble. Okay, so this is the same reason that Burnley got scored on in the first goal, right? So this is what happens when your team doesn't have much confidence in away games. You keep trying to tell your team to get up, get out, all right? And they keep dropping back and back and back. And it's one of these psychological things that unless you've either been in that situation or coached that situation, it doesn't make sense to you. And I've been in those situations and I've coached those situations and it still doesn't make sense to me. But what happens is the centre-backs panic and everybody drops back 5, sometimes 15 yards. And you do everything you can to get them to step forward, but you can't because they're panicking. So when this little run happens here, it was just a long ball. It starts to run down, but watch this line. This is the line. That's what you want to look at. Okay, that's all you're interested in. There's the ball. When this cut back happens, he's just run to the line, cut back. The whole line has run back to defend. Nobody. All they had to do was stay with one of their players, and they didn't. They just ran flat back, running, no focus on their surroundings or whatever, and have left a massive gap in the middle of the field for a simple tap-in. Again, look at how many players are right next to the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can't make a save because the players are in his way. He can't dive for it. He can't do anything because there's two grown men in his way. So when he just smashes it in, the keeper's just like, oh, he couldn't dive for it because look, he's already crashed into his own teammate. That is panicking. That isn't something Burnley have been doing last season. Yeah, come on, Burnley. I don't want you to go down this season. My mate Jacko will get upset again. Yeah, let's move it on. So this is just a long throw with a flick on at the front post, nothing special, but now it becomes it because, well, no one really knows what they're doing again. So you've got 3 United players marking one player. You've got someone completely free, don't know what you're doing, and 2 United players marking one player here. No one deals with this ball properly. Okay, so after that ball's been headed, first off, you put it down to the ground and not up and away. So remember, when you're defensively headering, you always want to put it up and away, not down to the ground. When you put it down to the ground, it makes it easy for someone to Get onto that second ball faster. When it's up and away, even if it's straight up, your keeper can come and catch it. You can get underneath it again. You've got time to react. That isn't good enough. Bump, shot, now it's anyone's business. Keeper makes a save. Now it comes down to who's the most alert. And I'm going to tell you, in any game Man United play, it's not going to be Man United. Ask Grimsby. They're going to be more alert than Man United. In the box, now it's just a poke into the corner and they get themselves a goal straight back in it. In a game that United should have already scored another goal in, put the game away, but now they've let Burnley get completely and utterly back into it. But don't worry, we're going to get a ref's decision. First off, if you're calling a foul, the foul starts outside the box, not where you land. So that's the foul. It's not a penalty. There's no arguments about it. You can see right there, foul, line, no penalty. Doesn't matter where he ends up. Doesn't matter where if he rolls 1,000 yards from one end of the field to the other. Now he's in the box. It's a penalty. Not a penalty. If that's a foul, the foul starts there. You can't make up the foul. Oh, now it starts a foul 2 seconds after he starts fouling him. If the shirt pulls a foul, it's outside the box. It's not a penalty. Goes on, clearly pulling his shirt, right? You can see it. Now he steps into the box, but also his legs just go down, collapsed like he's been shot by a shotgun. So he goes down too early. The foul starts outside the box. It's not a penalty. It's just not. You either give no penalty, right? Or, well, I don't know. There's all sorts you give here. But the foul is outside the box. You can't give a penalty for this. Like, what does it mean now? I just have to roll into the box if someone fouls me and it's a penalty. The whole game of football is gone. Like, if you think this is a penalty, you're crazy. The foul is 3 yards outside the box. It is awful refereeing. The game of football is complete and utter disaster. Like, how are you tumbling from a shirt pull? Like, it's completely and utterly insane. Rat-faced Fernandes scores in the bottom corner, takes a decent penalty, like he normally does, and saves United from total and utter embarrassment. But I'm telling you, it's not a penalty. United got bailed out there by the referees, just like Chelsea did against Fulham, and it makes you really, really not want to watch football anymore. Other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.